So are you expecting to be expanding your rental relief to your tenants at this point?
Well, depend on the recovery of the economy, we will continue to assist our tenants to ensure the continuity of their business.
What will it depend on?
Well, again, as we coming out, from the COVID-19, as we understand, Hong Kong still faces some social unrest. So that is a consideration that we'll take into consideration, when we discuss with our tenants as to what is the best way forward.
What are you expecting in terms of the increased political uncertainty that we're seeing in Hong Kong? What happens once the national security law is enacted? Would that affect Hong Kong's property prices?
Well, Chinachem has been established in Hong Kong for 60 years. Throughout those years, we have seen a lot of uncertainties, and I think this time is no different. We continue to believe in Hong Kong, and we believe Hong Kong will continue to have a very good business environment in future and will remain competitive.
We're expecting big protests in Hong Kong today, and certainly it's difficult to imagine that they'll stop at just here. So I'm wondering what impact do you see on your business in terms of sales and how much you see sales falling?
Well, I think, the Asian Pacific GDP has already been slowing down. I think in 2018, it is 6.3%, and 2019 already down to 5.8%. And with the trade war, it will continue slow down. So the recovery will not be in the immediate short term. But again, as I mentioned, we have confidence in the economy to recover slowly, and then Asia is still going to be a very good place to grow and continue to attract capitals and talents. There's a lot of advantages in Hong Kong for international business, and despite the slowdown, we do believe that we will come around the corner, and then we will be on our path to a sustainable growth in future.
What have you seen in terms of rental interest from multinational companies, not just going into this kind of uncertain future with the national security law, but really the uncertainty we've seen over the past essentially year from the coronavirus lockdown, people working from home, and also the ongoing protests? Do you imagine that there'll be far less demand for office space?
Well, it is not just from what we are seeing lately, but really it's the impact of the technology disruption. The e-commerce is going to be a fundamental change in how real estate business are being conducted. For example, shopping online already actually is challenging the physical shopping mall. So, at Chinachem, we are already going through this digital transformation, and our online and offline business, hopefully in the future, will merge together and create a new business model for us to continue our success. So it is not just about COVID-19.
So are you already diversifying your assets then, saying going from these office spaces and retail spaces to, say, more logistic properties?
We are exploring the opportunities. Logistic data center is an area that we will be looking at. But also, I think, we are actually moving from asset-heavy model to an asset-light. Again, services will become something very important to offer a unique experience to our tenants and users. And, in future, with the use of technology, we can actually provide a more focused service to our customers. And that is what the 21st century is all about. It's about customized user experience.
Do those customers also include reliance less on mainland Chinese tourists? Do we need Hong Kong to diversify away from its dependence on mainland consumption?
Yes, I think that is a very good point. We cannot just have one single consumer group. So it is important for us to diversify in terms of more inclusive customer base. And recently, what we have done in our shopping mall as well as in our hospitality hotel business is look for additional kind of markets. How can we provide the service to our local markets? So the neighborhood mall which we operate, actually they have been doing relatively better than the mall that is catered for tourists only.
So until you can see that transition to more local-oriented business, how sustainable is a model of continued, base rent reductions? How long can you carry that through for?
Well, I think it's not just cutting the cost and lower the rental. The really sustainable model is to increase revenue and ensure there are sufficient business for the tenants. In that aspect, we at landlord, we are helping the tenant to enable them to do more business. For example, in our mall, we are providing resources for our tenants to deliver their products to consumers, so that they do not need to actually come to our mall. They can phone in, have a takeout order, and then we will provide the resources and staff to deliver the products to the residents, to the office tenants.